Welcome to In the Studio. We're here today with multidisciplinary artist Ashlee Banxxs. If you could tell me a little bit about your art practice.
So my art practice involves painting and sewing. I loved finding discarded items and materials and repurposing them and making something beautiful out of them. A lot of my early artwork started with painting and sewing and sculpting with my grandmother. So I like to use everything that I was taught as a child in learning how to mesh them all together to make something beautiful.
So you started this really young, it sounds like. What was your early young life as an artist like?
I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and she painted, she sewed, she did everything with her hands. She taught sewing and sewing classes in Pasadena. And so a lot of the things just to keep me busy was to just show me what she was doing. So I learned how to use a sewing machine very young. I would go in her closet and I would take her good fabric. Purposely the good fabric. And I would just pull it out. I wouldn't even lay it out flat. And I would just cut holes in the middle of the fabric to make clothes for my Barbies.
I did this too.
Yeah.
I did this too.
Right, and then I would try to make a matching outfit for myself. So the Barbie and I had to look, it never looked like anything, but it was just something that I liked to do. And luckily I never got in trouble for it. I think she embraced my creativity and my curiosity.
I did that with my grandma.
Really?
Yeah, she had this trunk full of African fabric.
Mm-hmm.
I would not dare cut it up. I would not dare cut it up.
Girl, I was...
But yeah, I would go through all the African fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
So that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
She never told me I couldn't, so...
Yeah.
But then, she found out. She was like, it's just a hole in the middle of the, that's the worst thing to do.
Now you know.
Now
after you went to fashion school, you were very
why would you cut a hole in the middle of the fabric? You know how much a yard of fabric costs?
Yeah. But money ain't a thing when you're 5 years old.
But she used to buy a lot because my granny was kind of a big lady. So she would have so much of it. I was also thinking she has an abundance of fabric.
Yeah.
She just has, so I'll just cut a hole. And I remember it was this color and it was crushed velvet.
Ooh.
She just crushed velvet.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just cutting holes through it. She was probably what the hell is going on here? We spent a lot of times doing things with clay. I would make masks with her. And she was really into art from different cultures. So we would spend times looking through different magazines, world history books, and just creating different artwork when it came to African art, Asian art, and just learning how to be a creative child. And as I grew up, I always found that outlet in school to just make something. So I always took an art class. That was the one class that I knew if I didn't pay attention to anything, I could always still get an A. And I think throughout life, I realized this is something that I was really passionate about. And I got into fashion and did that as an undergrad, and then got my master's in art and design. So I decided this is what I really love to do, and I want to share it with the world.
So you graduate and now you're working in the arts and the fashion industry as an adult. So tell me a little bit about that transition from being able to creatively make whatever you want with fashion and arts and mesh them together, and then that transition to working professionally.
Yes. So a lot of my early years consisted of working in the fashion industry in a corporate level. So I did do a lot of design, but I realized this isn't enough for me just to work corporately and do the work, but I needed to also have my own practice. And so that's when I was I'm gonna do my first show, and I'm gonna showcase the fashion side and the art side, where I was able to create a line of clothing wear that paired with the artwork, which was pretty cool. And I had live models. Yeah, it was really fun. It was hectic. Would never do that again. But after that, I was I can't do both of these in this manner. So I started to move towards painting more, because I realized I hadn't expressed a certain part of myself, and that's where the spirituality and art came into play, when I started just kind of getting these downloads from just, I don't know, higher self of what it means to be a creative and what it means to be on this earth, and kind of looking at it in a scientific way. And I really loved learning about color and how does that show up in our everyday life. And so I started creating artwork that mirrored spirituality and scientific situations throughout our life, and it was very calming for me. It was a very beautiful experience, and through that I also decided to dig deeper and seeing how can I just marry sewing and textile together. And I'm currently in a space where I feel great about marrying both of them confidently and understanding the stories that we have to tell as humans.
So you're incorporating these other elements into your artwork, whether it's your painting artwork or your artwork with fabric and then your painting work. There's a science aspect in your artwork, and then there's also a spiritual aspect of your artwork, and then there's that pure creativity aspect of your artwork also. And those three things kind of marry and tie into, you know, your practice as a whole. So I'm curious about where the scientific aspect of your artwork began, because you're such a creative, but then there's also this very technical side to your work.
I think, and I use this word very loosely, I'm a nerd. I love science, but I also love art. And I believe that they go hand in hand. I believe in any industry you can marry a subject and create art out of it. And for me, my advice was science. I love just understanding how the smallest molecule has to do with anything in this world, and how do I show that to people, you know? And for me, it's about discovery. Just like art, you're discovering something. You want to figure out, okay, what's my hypothesis when I'm doing this? And with art, you have an image and you're trying to figure out, well, what am I trying to say? And so I figure you can marry the two, and there's going to be people that understand it, and there's going to be people that look at it in a scientific way that can appreciate it, and there's going to be people that's going to look at it as a whole image in its totality and look at it and appreciate another level. And I think that being able to capture different attention from different viewers is special, because everyone is experiencing art in a different way.
Did you love science as a kid, or did it just, okay, so art didn't give you the love for science, it was like that was
I loved both of them. Like I remember one time I asked my aunt for a Christmas gift for a telescope, just so that I can look at certain things. Like
How old were you?
I don't know. I was like maybe in middle school. Like I wanted to see my hair. Like I wanted to like literally like,
you wanted to see
well, actually microscope, not telescope, microscope. So I wanted to like look in a microscope and see what my hair looked like. Because I'm always just like, I know from in school that you can see certain things that you don't normally see every day. So I'm always interested in figuring out what other things look like. And then I believe being able to show people what things look like without educating them and making it beautiful in an artistic way is a way of educating people, because people don't like to be talked to. They like things served to them very beautifully. And so it's like, okay, instead of educating you and showing it to you this way, I'm going to actually create art and I'm going to show it to you and make it more palatable.
And then what about the spirituality side? Because it's interesting to me, because science and spirituality are connected, but are also very not connected and very polar opposite in a lot of ways. So I'm curious how that plays into the whole grand scheme of the pieces that you're creating.
So with my abstract work, it's very spiritually driven. It's one of those things where you can't think about it too much. You just kind of got to let it happen. It's one of those things where also I don't think you realize what you're doing until you've done it. And so I was just creating art without some of it even research. It was just like, this feels nice. And then later I would do research on certain topics and then realize like, oh, this means this. How did I download this information? It just spiritually, it's just in you. Like sometimes you don't realize like that's just your gift. And sometimes you can explain why you have certain gifts. You just have to accept and appreciate that you have this gift. And once you realize that things start to make sense, you start paying attention on how intentional you are with your artwork. And so for instance, I believe that, and not to get too sciencey, but you know, when you look at different shapes, all shapes are connected to the universe. And when you start to research the shapes a little bit more, you understand the energy that they hold. And when you're creating art and you're creating these shapes, you're actually creating a practice, a spiritual practice, which you're actually honing into. So you're becoming a part of the art practice. And I think once you just let that happen, magic happens. And it starts to feel good. You know, when you make art and it feels good, like that's what I like to feel when I create my art. It's just that calming, very pleasant feeling that I like to create.
Yeah, I always think of the process of creating art as a meditation.
Yes.
Because I know some people are like, oh, I can't meditate. I have a hard time. I can't sit still. And I'm like, if you're an artist, you are meditating on a daily basis. And you're tapping in to your higher self on a daily basis also.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. And I think it's very cool because a lot of us artists, we've been doing it since we were kids.
Yeah.
So it's a natural thing.
Exactly.
That we brought with us, we brought with our spirit from somewhere. So it's like we naturally know what we're doing almost before we know what we're doing.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know why I made that. I just made it, but I can't explain why.
Yeah.
I can explain what it means to me now, and it can mean something completely different to you. But during my art making process, it meant something else to me. And I feel like it's a gift to be able to experience that as the artist. And your hope is that other people are able to understand, experience a glimmer of what you've created. But I believe art is just an experience in general.
A lot of times I do kind of daily rituals just to keep myself grounded or to start the day grounded so that I can create. So whether it just, is very simple and just like sage or Palo Santos throughout, throughout the room, whatever it is, that kind of helps me connect with what I want to do and helps me kind of download those ideas a little better. And I know you have a lot of spiritual practices that you do that has to be connected to your artwork in some way. And I wonder if that helps you creatively at all.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I went to Miami one time, I got this random tattoo. It says, "Eat sage paint." And it's my mantra. And it's one of those things where you have to make sure you're right with yourself, like you are aligned before you can create. So it's like, okay, make sure I'm nourished in any aspect, and sage my space, make sure the area is clean, no conflicting energies, and then just paint. I mean, now it's just create for me, like not just painting, I'm creating. But once I'm able to do those things and I'm able to clear the space and make space for creativity, then I'm able to create something. So sometimes when I go into the studio, I'll go in, one, it's usually always clean when I come in because I cannot work in a messy space. So I go in my studio and turn on my lights, sometimes get the mood right, and I'll have my incense burning, and turn on some music, and just try to go outside for a little bit, walk around, get some air, and then go back in and just lock in. So usually it's, for me, I love scents. Like if I smell something, there's certain scents that just kind of like heighten you, like, oh yeah, I just feel good. So for me, it's incense or sage. And I feel like that's just kind of like a trigger scent to kind of like calm your nervous system.
Yeah, that's interesting. If I'm coming in from somewhere else and coming into my studio to work, I have to sage because I'm so sensitive to picking up others' energies. I can't be carrying other stuff when I'm trying to create what I want to create or what my spirit wants to create. So that's like a must. Well, let's get into the artwork that you're doing right now. So you are making portraiture.
I am.
Yeah, so this is new. I'm used to your abstract, scientific, spiritual work, and now we're doing portraiture. So tell me about that.
It's very interesting because it's something that I don't normally do. It's something that I know how to do. And I also have to tell myself, like, you don't have to limit yourself to one thing. Like I said, I'm multidisciplinary and very blessed to be able to express myself in different ways. And I also just go by feelings. So like, I guess your art sometimes reflects your times that you're in and how you're feeling and what's going around, in your community. And so currently I've just been really inspired to just showcase Black families, but the nostalgia of our Black families. Inspiration was just Black families, and the essence behind the photographs. Like, you know how we were talking about things are just a feeling. I would look at these old photographs of not just my family, but other people's family, and I could feel the energy through the photographs. And these are people that I don't even know that some of my friends are posting, and I'm just like, I can feel the love, and I can feel the relationship, and I can feel the memories in these photographs just by knowing the person that I know. I don't know your relative, but I can feel the energy in this photograph, and I felt like I wanted to recreate this but using textiles. And so when doing this, I think it's so important to pay homage to our loved ones that are no longer here with us, but also, you know, the good times that we shared in our lives when we were younger, or with these people that we were in these photographs with. And using textiles to paint a picture is different from painting. You know, it's like I can't manipulate it with a brush stroke. I have to now think very technical. So still kind of science, where you have to plan out everything mentally, like what happens first, and how do I create depth and shadows with fabric now, because I can't just blend with black and white and, you know, create intensity, but I have to understand now, how can I use fabrication to create those shadows, to create that depth and create harmony using different textures of fabric. And it's really fun because I don't know what I'm doing, you know, and I think that's the fun part about being a creative, is exploring, because if you knew what you were doing all the time, it wouldn't be fun. It does get a little frustrating, but once you start practicing more and more on something new, it's just kind of like, aha, I've got it, you know, and then the next one looks better and the next one looks better. And for me, it's such a pure space that I'm in, because I've never created at this level. And I'm like so in love with it. It's like my baby, you know, and it's like I'm able to use the textiles that my grandmother taught me how to use, but I'm able to use my formal training of understanding textile and fabrication. But I'm also able to create a experience when you're looking at this imagery. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, I want you to look at it and understand the fabrication used, but also feel the energy through the portraits.
That's one of the things I love about being an artist, because it really is play. Like, we get to experiment and discover new things every day. You know? As a mixed media artist, I'm like, there's no shortage of things that I can use to create my pieces. So that's what I love.
That's the best part, you know, like reminding yourself, don't limit yourself to something just because you think that this is something you have to do. Like, it has to be done this way. Who said it had to be done that way? And when you start to realize and stop putting restrictions on yourself and your creativity, your possibilities become endless, because at the end of the day, it's your work and it's your vision. And it's like, it is such a blessing to be able to like think of everything that you have access to, which I think we take for granted sometimes. Like, we have access to a lot. Why not take advantage of that? Why not showcase what you can do when you have resources? And I think that's the exciting thing about being an artist, is like, hey, or even if you don't have it, how can you get it? Because I think,
or how can I make it?
Exactly.
Or what can I substitute
exactly
for it?
You know, it's kind of like the old, you know, folks tale is like, our ancestors didn't have everything that we have, but they made do with what they had. And I think we have so much more, but we also have to still edit to understand, like, you don't have to throw everything in. You don't have to throw everything in the kitchen sink. Like, okay, I have all this, but how can I edit to still make this concise and still make this impactful?
See, that's the Aquarius in me. And you know, I'm Aquarius moon. But I mean, I say Aquarius because it's like we kind of do things at the beat of our own drum. That is an important piece to have as an artist, because there are a lot of voices out there that are saying you have to do it like this. This is the way to do it. You know, this is what's trending. This is what's beautiful. This is what will sell. And it's like, no, as artists, we're creating from a whole different space. This career is very purpose-driven. So you can't listen to the noise, the outside noise. You just can't, if you're going to be creating what you're supposed to create.
And be authentic to you. I think that's the most important thing, is being authentically yourself, because everyone else already exists. Like, there's no reason that you feel like you have to fit in a box to fit anyone else. That's not what the world needs. The world needs the version of you to present yourself to, you know, the world. So making sure you're yourself, sometimes is hard because you do sometimes get a little influence and you overthink. I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
I'm an Aquarius. So I'm going to overthink everything. But I also have the ability to kind of come back to self and be, okay, this is what we actually need to do. This what feels good.
Mm-hmm.
I think whenever I get distracted, I go back to the feeling of what feels good.
Yeah.
Because that's that intuition, and that's going to lead you to a place where you feel successful and you feel safe. And I think that if you continue to pay attention to that, which also ties into spirituality, like how are you listening to yourself and being confident in what you're creating as an artist? Like, am I paying attention to everything that's going on within myself? And if I am, okay, then I don't have to worry about what I'm creating, because that is my God-given gift. Like, God gave me that. You know, I didn't create that. That's what God did. And so I feel confident in knowing my relationship with my higher self is going to steer me in the right direction.
Yeah. It's interesting too, because when we're talking about the feeling that we have when we create, it's like, that's how I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because of the feeling. But now they have like coloring books, like art therapy coloring books and stuff, because it makes everyone feel good. That's not necessarily everybody's life path. Yeah. But it just ties right back into how art is a meditation and a form of grounding. Yeah. And just tapping into yourself.
An expression, you know, like some people use art therapy to express what they are feeling or seeing. Like I remember during my master's program, we had like a sound bath. I did like part of my project was do a sound bath. And after everyone did their sound bath, I had them to create art about what they saw during that experience. Like, you know, you're meditating, okay, what are you feeling and what did you see? And can you create that and communicate that through art? And everyone's look different, obviously, because we're different beings, but I think it's such a beautiful thing to be like, oh, you saw that? I saw something completely different. Yeah. But sometimes you cannot explain that through words, and you need visuals to kind of like show people like, this is how I'm feeling, you know. It's so cool.
It's also interesting as an artist, kind of the evolution from when you begin to, you know, as you develop and you grow and develop as an artist. Because I remember when I began, I felt like I had to have like the full picture, the full idea right there, and then create it out. And I realized as I grew as an artist, like I just allowed myself to be and for ideas to come as they may. And it's now to the point where I'm like, oh, I have this installation idea. Let me write down this and figure out this. And I know I need to add a sculptural element here. And I have no idea what that is, but I know sometime in the next few days or in the next month, I know it's gonna come. And it did. This morning it came to me. And I was like, perfect, that's exactly what I needed. Fits in perfectly, but I just didn't know it yet, but I knew it was gonna come. So just being super in tune with yourself is half of the process, you know, of creating. So you're doing these portraits, and I think it's interesting because kind of off the bat, when you think of portraits, you think a painting, you know, but you chose to use fabric. So I'm curious about your decision in using fabric, because you also have a background in painting as well.
It was one of the things where I felt like I would be doing myself a disservice to not use fabric. Like we said, like it's in you. And I think because I grew up using so many different materials, it was like, well, how can I use fabrication to create something that would normally be painted? And I think I've spent so much time trying to do both of them separately. And I'm like, you can't separate yourself. Like you have to just be whole. And trying to be whole, I had to figure out how can I do both without having to do something completely different. And so for me, I actually did a residency in Canada, and I was their textile artist. And so that was like, okay, now you have to create your work out of textile. And for me, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? I do abstract and then do a textile. I had no clue what I was gonna do, but I had some type of idea on the color scheme. And I went there and I gave myself time to just kind of be one with nature. I know it sounds very cliche, but in Victoria, Canada, best place to be one with nature. Very quiet, very serene. I was just among the trees and the beaches, and it just allowed me just to really create something that I've never created in such a large scale with fabrication and creating. I would actually create my paintings into a textile form. So something that I would have normally painted, I was like, well, let me try sewing this and let me try different fabrications and different stitches and beading. And that just opened up a different world for me, that residency. And once I was able to use so many different materials and beads and trims, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. You know, let me do this more. But then I was like, I want to see myself in imagery, and I want people to see themselves in it too. So that's why I decided to do portraits, because I believe the abstract is beautiful and it is something that I feel is very sacred to me. But I feel like sometimes people do relate more when it comes to portraits, because there is such a human experience in that for a lot of people. And for me, I felt such a connection to seeing these photographs, and I felt that all of the knowledge that I acquired during my residency, I wanted to apply that into this new body of work that I'm creating. And in creating this body of work, I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about the people in the photographs. I'm learning how to elevate and do things in a different level that I've never done before. And I think that, like we were saying earlier, it's so fun just playing. And I think with all of the craziness going on in the world, the hustle and bustle, we need time to play, and we need time to create space for fun. And for me right now, I'm just having fun. But I feel so passionate about it where I'm like, no, this feels right. Mm-hmm. So let's see where it goes.
So the residency kind of was like the catapult to this new body of work that you're creating.
Yes. Yeah. And I had all of the time just to focus on it. There was no distractions on, like, granted, I had other stuff going on, Lord knows, but it was the time to just kind of have silence. Yeah. There was no distractions of like everybody else and everything else that was involved. I made myself go in the studio and be like going to sleep at 1:00 in the morning after being in the studio. So it was really good for me to kind of strengthen my practice and be more disciplined, and has carried on into my practice now where, I do a lot of stuff during the day, but I make sure that I get in the studio just about every day during the week and I create something. I make some type of progress. And sometimes it's not always about just doing busy work. Sometimes you just got to be there and you got to look at it and you got to think and wait for it to feel good. Yeah. Some people I know operate very differently, but for me, like we were talking about spiritually, like it has to have a feeling to it. I don't create anything that does not have a feeling to it. And when I do that, I feel like I am doing myself a higher service because I know that I put thought into creating this. The journey has just been really great.
And you were in a wooded area, right?
I was very remote. I would take walks and you could hear the trees. It was like they were talking to me. And it also gives you gratitude. I think that's the most important thing about having just a human experience in general. It's like having gratitude for life, because it just makes everything feel like blissful, just like, oh, I have gratitude for just being here. And now that's like meditation in itself, like just strengthening your gratitude and just being appreciative of being able to be in a space, like it's not a lot of times where you see Black women in a remote area in Canada making art. So I was just like, man, this is a blessing, to be able to be in this space. And it was great, really, really great.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel gratitude when I finish a piece of work that I really, really love. As a Black woman in the art space in general, we are not represented in the numbers that we should be in the gallery spaces and the museum spaces. But there's also an aspect to it where I'm like, I want to be the best artist that I can be as a Black woman to continue to show the younger generation that this is something that we can do and that we can thrive in, because I would have loved to see more of me in this art space when I was younger. And granted, I spent a lot of time in Mali when I was younger, and the culture is very filled with the arts in general. So there's women making arts everywhere. And so I did get to see that, in that part of the world. But when I came to this part of the world, I'm like, man, I want to see more of this,
For me also, with choosing to do more textile work right now just reminds me of how, you know, women used to do a lot of quilting. You know, that was one of the only things that as women we were able to do that expressed our creativity was quilting. So for me, it also feels like I'm paying homage to like the women before me that used quilting to express themselves, and the quilts that they would make, just the science in that. Like, how did you even think about all these shapes and designs? And
it is very scientific.
It's very scientific. It's so scientific coded, and you have to be like on point with like your seams and matching everything together, which I love. That's like one of the things that I love about sewing and fashion is like, I like the seams being perfect. That's also like me and my bachelor's degree. Like, you had to be perfect when you were in school. So it's just like perfect seams, perfect, you know, hemlines and everything like that. And I think that ties into being an artist, like that perfectionism that we try to not let consume us. But I think it's something to be proud of too. It's like, I care this much to make sure this looks really nice. And if it doesn't, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try to make it look better because I know that I can make it look better. It might not be there yet, but I know my level of creativity and I know what I want it to look like. We as women have been doing this for a long time, but we're making it in a different form now. We're making it more contemporary. So it's like, this is your new updated version of a quilt, you know? And I think it's pretty cool.
That is true. There is a really strong background in women in textile making that is it undervalued?
It is. It is. It's undervalued, but I believe I'm seeing in spaces now where it is coming more to the forefront. So we're acknowledging now quilting. There's lots of museums that are having a lot of quilt work on display, and you're able to have artist talks with other quilters, you know, that are very seasoned in their artistry. And I think it's beautiful because you do need to hear the stories. It's rooted in so much more than just sewing. It tells a story. And to understand quilting and its story is to understand textile art.
And they all tell stories.
They all tell
stories. Those quilts work. And then when I think about textiles in general, obviously I think about mudcloth because that's my background. And mudcloth began by Bamana women.
There's also a spiritual connection with creating mudcloth. It's not just stamping, and you know, it's like, what does the imagery mean behind it? And the process, you know, it's a whole other thing.
When it began, the patterns, it was an alphabet. It is an alphabet still. So when it began, the patterns that they were drawing on there was an alphabet. And the very first Bogolan mudcloths, they did like on the inside of their panyas, their wraparound skirt, and they would write their diaries. And then they would pass it down to the next generation of women in the family, like their daughter or their granddaughter, and it served as kind of like advice for the next generation.
I love that.
So that's the origins, that's how it began. And then it also played a big role in marking of like status just in society back then. So like everybody wore mudcloth. Kings, huntermen, blacksmiths, and by the patterns that they wore, you could tell what they did. You could tell kind of like their status. And the big one is that hunters would wear it in the forest and it acted as camouflage. So that was kind of like the initial why they would start wearing it. So
that's so cool.
There's so much behind all of these textiles and the culture behind it from all over the world. I mean, it's a resurfacing art, and I think it's so awesome. I think not a lot of people are sewing, and it's one of those things where it's a trade that a lot of people don't know how to do. And I think a lot of people around my generation, we learned from our grandmothers. You know, our grandmothers taught us how to use this tool, and it's just one of those things where it's muscle memory. Like, you can never really forget. I can literally thread any sewing machine, and I know how to use so many different machines. And when you learn how to use another machine, it's just like, oh, like technology is just evolving. How can I get better at doing this thing? But I still know how to do the basics. Like I can hand stitch, but I also like to use an embroidery machine sometimes. So when you said muscle memory, I was like, oh, that's the perfect word, because I feel like as artists, we're using soul memory. You know, it feels very soul memory.
Like, what if it's just even like, you know, our grandmothers working through us too? Like, okay, my child, you do that. You know better. You know how to do this.
Or we knew exactly what we came here to do.
But it's so interesting because the older you get, the more you understand yourself and you understand your purpose. I think when you're younger, you're doing it so innocently, which is beautiful and it's pure. And that carries you to your adulthood. But once you matriculate through life, you start to understand your purpose a little bit more, and you become more of the woman you are, and you understand like how you can use your gifts and everything you've learned as a child to create. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can come in this industry at any age, but it's not the same as when you've been doing this your whole life. You know, because you have lived experiences, and it's different. Everyone's experience is going to be very different. That doesn't say that any is better. It's just a different feeling when you create, because of the relationship you have with your ancestors and your parents and your family.
Yeah, and when you're creating honestly, you're creating that honest work, there's gonna be somebody that relates to it, and that brings a community element to the arts that I think is a big part of why the arts is so important. It really brings people together, and it makes people feel less alone. Like you see, this person understands this aspect of me or my life or how I feel, or
that's what's so important about being an artist, though. You know, like we create for ourselves, but we also know we have to create for other people, and not in an aspect where I created this for you. It's that I know I have a message that you can relate to. And I think the most beautiful thing is when you have a show and you're able to kind of like check out and watch people view your art and then hear what they have to say, because I don't care if you don't have the same ideas that I have. I care that you connected with this in the way that made sense to you. And I think that is my favorite part, is just watching other people enjoy my art, because it's like, wow, you got something from this. And that's all I could ever ask for.
Sometimes it's something that you didn't even think that you put into the work, but they connect so deeply to something that is in your work that you didn't see.
You're like, okay. Right.
Yeah. And it's such a weird juxtaposition, because with all of this, we see there is such an importance in working through your true purpose, like in working in your truth. And the art industry isn't necessarily designed for that. It is for some people, but the art industry is also telling us this is what's selling.
It's a business.
This is what's trending. This is what's valued, whatever it is. So it's like, we know that there are these parts that the art industry deems special or worth viewing, museum worthy, whatever it is. And being able to know if your true self aligns with that or not, and creating from that place of truth is such a power, and important to be able to stay true to that. Because what's the point? What's the point if we're creating something that isn't real to us? And as artists, we can see that. We can see if something's not real and authentic, and that's fine. But
different strokes for different folks, but you don't have to always subscribe to things that are not settling with your spirit. And so I think even with trying to do portraits, for me, I'm like, am I still being myself? Because I'm used to being an abstract. Well, I'm also used to not seeing a lot of people that look like me doing abstract art. And so sometimes you're like, well, if I start doing a little something else, am I losing myself? And that was the most important thing for me, is like, don't lose yourself with exploring other things. Make sure there's still the largest aspects that make you happy, that also say this is you in your new work. So for me, even though I'm doing portraits, it's still very abstract. You know, it's like,
it looks like your work still.
It's still very abstract. You know, it's like, okay, I'm not going to do all of the details. That's not me. I love things that look fluid. I like people to be able to look at my art and still identify themselves without having to figure out, well, what is this or who is this? Like, no, I want you to feel comfortable in your relationship with whatever you're viewing, so that you feel like you can connect with this without actually having to feel very theme specific.
Have you ever had imposter syndrome?
Yeah, but I think that's the Aquarius in me too. Like, I overthink everything. So that imposter syndrome tries to come over. But I've learned that you can't let that, because I feel like when you have imposter syndrome, sometimes you are not meditating enough, or you're not centering yourself, because that's just outside noise, because you know what makes sense. You're just allowing outside energies to try to interfere in trying to sabotage you. That's really what it is. It's like, it's self-sabotage. But I think to be able to calm the noise and realize what's happening is something that you have to work towards, because you don't know what's happening. But sometimes when you stop and you're like, you know what, I'm doing this. I need to stop doing this. Let's stop making excuses and let's just do the work. Like, it's as simple, it sounds as simple as that, because it is, but we're human. It's acceptable. It's going to happen. Just be gentle with yourself and get back on track.
That's good advice, because a lot of people have imposter syndrome in all different areas, but it makes sense that you would have it as an artist, because you are sculpting your own career out of nothing, you know? So it is a pure, like, intuitive process, you know, and learning how to listen to your intuition and hear yourself and act through your higher purpose, you know, that's a skill. It's muscle memory. It's part of the muscle memory that we have to practice. I think that's great advice, to just not listen to that inner voice or outside noise or whatever it is that's giving you the doubt. We're in these artistic careers and it's like, this is my world. I can shape it how I want. This is my world. This is my art world.
The most successful people have the audacity to do whatever they want to do. That's really what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a dot on the wall, but they are so confident. The audacity. It could be whatever you want it to be, but it's the audacity and the confidence behind it. You know, like, you can make the most beautiful art in the world, but you cannot, if you don't have the courage or the confidence or the audacity, it's not going to take you anywhere. So it could be stifling for some to figure out how to navigate that, and I think that's just part of the human experience, and I don't think anyone should beat themselves over it, because you're working to be better. And I think once you start cutting out all the BS and actually just kind of stick to something that makes sense and is true to you, like, all that other stuff really doesn't stand a chance.
And there's also a huge amount of vulnerability that we have as artists. So it's like, you know, the average person goes through life and makes mistakes and does things that they wish they didn't, and things that they're proud of, and makes beautiful things and things that, you know, they're not as proud of. And we're doing the same thing, and we're putting it out there for everybody to see.
That's
and
hard.
Everybody to judge. So it's like it's a very interesting career, personally and then publicly.
It's like, here I am naked, like, you get to view and you're like, ugh, what are they gonna say? And I think sometimes that can be scary, because especially when you are kind of like similar to both of us, is like, when you feel like you are so connected to what you're creating, it is so pure, it is as your baby, and I'm letting you look at my child, you know. Please don't say anything mean about children. Well. Exactly, you know.
This is why I am so particular and careful about the galleries I work with, the curators that I work with, because my artwork is so sacred to me that if I'm working with you and you are profiting off of my artwork in some way, or just putting your energy in the space of my artwork, it has to be aligned. You have to understand my message. I'm not one to work with anybody, put my art on the wall and call it a day, have an exhibition and call it a day. It's the whole process from creation to display that is very sacred, and that I'm very, very intentional about. Is there anything that you wanted to add?
I guess this new body of work that I'm creating is really just about family. We talked about community and togetherness, and I think that for me, that's really important right now, is family, because I feel like a lot of people need something to relate to and to feel safe in. And I think especially within the Black community, family is so sacred. And so creating pieces where people can feel like they came into a cookout, you know, or family reunion.
Just community in general. Like
like, you know, like, I might not know who that is, but that's my cousin, you know, like that little extension, like, oh, hey, cousin. Like, I want it to feel very family reunion, like you're just surrounded by energy and that love of the Black
Yeah.
community within my work. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what it looks like when it all comes together. Different scales. I think for me, I just want to go bigger and bigger, but I'm also like, okay, your sewing machine is just this small. How can you go bigger? But that's part of the journey
Time
and
to get
figuring out,
that
right?
thread and needle out.
But also just using different techniques, you know, so using punch needling or using hand stitching and using beading, like how can I create more depth in what I'm doing? How can I pay homage to quilting? How can I make this feel like everything that I am and everything that I want to be? I think that's where it is. It is me and my essence, but it is my community and its essence. And I want people to be able to see themselves and their family in this new body of work, because it is very special. You know, like if it's a portrait of your grandfather, I'm going to cherish it with all of my heart, because I know how much that means to you. With every image that I create in these portraits are very, very sacred spirits that have told a story in these photographs. So I'm really excited to see it all come together.
Well, I'm really excited to see this new body of work, this new
you.
show, and
Yes.
looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Yay.